it can never be too cloudy for you, Wayne. You know you need that sunshine, but hopefully it'll be a lot of sunshine with Grayson out there on the mound making his first start. It was a couple years in his first start as a Halo here today against the Dodgers.
It certainly is for Grayson Rodriguez, as Rodriguez pitches in a major league game for the first time in 655 days. It has been a long road to recovery here for Grayson Rodriguez. Had that lat injury a couple of years ago, elbow problems, all kinds of setbacks last season. So Rodriguez ready to take the mound for a major league game for the first time, and incredibly amped up to do so here today.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's competitive as he can be. Big, strong right-hander with a good fastball, but his changeup is his pitch he'll go to for that big punch-out during the course of this game.
Here takes the field. The Angels behind Grayson Rodriguez here today. Rodriguez made 43 starts as a Baltimore Oriole. He won 20 of them. And he was on such a roll in the second half of 2023. He was their Game 2 starter in the playoffs. He was excellent in 2024 before the injuries started to take. So the Angels are hoping that this is a guy who returns to that top-of-the-line form.
And even when he threw a few spring training games early on in Tempe this spring training, he was throwing the ball well. Just a little bit of an arm fatigue, dead arm type of process. And when you haven't pitched in a long time, you're going to have that when you're amped up to try to throw as hard as you can. So really important for him just to be under control here in the first inning, especially against this Dodgers lineup. My go-tos for Grayson to have that big-time game here today is confidence in that heater. That fastball can be average around 96 miles an hour. You got to trust that, and then fade that changeup all day long. He will get a lot of swing and miss. I said the great season he had in 24. He had a 31.1% whip percentage with his changeup.
So the lineup for the Dodgers, Mookie Betts not in there today. Shohei's leading off. Andy Pages moves up to the 3-hole. Kyle Tucker is back in there after getting yesterday off. The Dodgers have scored a whole lot of runs now in this series, 21 of them after 15 runs on 10 hits yesterday. So the Dodgers on a roll. They've won 4 in a row after losing 4 straight.
And the defense behind Grayson here today, brought to you by Bertolo Chevrolet. Lowe, Trout, Odell, Moncada, Neto, Frazier at second base, Shawnowell at first base with Hoppy behind the plate again. But Frazier, already this season, been really solid as far as his defense goes. And he's already been turning 7 double plays, 24th game at second base, 1 defensive run save. Frazier can cover some ground and turn a double play very well at that second base position.
Grayson Rodriguez, 26 years old. He'll turn 27 in November. So not only are you getting a guy still with some team control left, you're getting a young pitcher that can still round into the form that could put him in the prime of his career. I was actually surprised the Orioles let him go, considering how good he had been for them. Shohei Ohtani takes ball 1 to get things started today. Taylor Ward's a great player, we know that, but he only has 1 year there until he becomes a free agent. That's this year. So the Orioles gave up a lot to get Taylor Ward. And now Grayson Rodriguez in his Angel debut gives up a base hit to the first batter that he faces. Ohtani is on with a single.
And that was a fastball. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. The pitch arsenal for Grayson Rodriguez. That was a 4-seamer that was hit. And that 4-seamer he throws about 48% of the time. His changeup is his pitch. His wipeout pitch, slider, and curveball too. But you look at the batting average versus his changeup back in 2024. 4-seam fastball. He's got to be more consistent where he throws it. That ball was hit hard by Ohtani, over 106 miles per hour.
Freddie Freeman looks at strike 1 on a changeup. Grayson Rodriguez said facing Ohtani was a throwback to Little League. Facing a guy who can pitch and hit. Shohei's homered off him before. And Shohei with a leadoff single here. Now Freeman. Swing and miss, 0-2. Freeman, a child Angels fan growing up. Mentioned it yesterday how much he idolized Garrett Anderson. He grew up about 20 miles from here. Balls, 2 strikes on Freeman.
Good to see that one. That was a 97-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball. Up above the strike zone. The thing about Freeman, though, Wayne, and you've seen him many, many years, too. He's really good going the other way. So fastball's up and away. It's kind of a dangerous pitch against him.
An incredibly tough out. No balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez working ahead of him, though. The breaking ball is laced toward the right field corner. That is a foul ball.
Nice play down there.
Well, if it bounces fair and hits that netting, we know now that it is still in play. And it's really a strange rule to have kept. Some of these rules are from years and years ago. And as netting has been extended down the foul lines, and in this case here at Angel Stadium all the way to the foul poles, it makes no sense for that rule to stay intact the way that it is. It's different now with the foul areas being in play on balls that should be out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Freeman. This was the play yesterday when Shohei had a ball that landed fair and bounced into foul ground over the fence and off the netting, which would have been a ground rule double if that netting wasn't there, and still should be a ground rule double. That netting being there really shouldn't change that fact. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Freddie Freeman. Here's a ground ball grabbed by Shotwell with a backhand, flips it to second base. Neto hurries it to first. That's a double play.
Nice job all the way around. No panic for Shotwell. We threw a nice little changeup over to Neto, but Neto seeing the pitcher going over there. Grayson did a real nice job getting to the bag before stretching. Nice double play turn. The most difficult one to turn is a 3-6-1 double play. Get to that bag as a pitcher and then you stretch. If you stretch early, you don't have as much mobility around the bag, but nice play all the way around. Neto got a lot on that throw over the top. Perfect throw. That'll make you feel good if you're Grayson Rodriguez. Get 2 outs with 1 pitch.
Shohei doubled up on that play with Freddie Freeman rolling into the 3-6-1. Rodriguez, a nice big target there at first base. He's a first baseman size, certainly. As Andy Paez rolls one to third, might have broken his bat. Either way, it's Grayson Rodriguez with a scoreless first in his Angels debut. Center, Zach Neto leads off. Mike Trout in the second spot. Neto back in that number 1 hole as he's been putting it together lately. Shotwell hits third. Soler's the DH. Okada's in there. So is Joe Dell in right field. Josh Lowe back and left. Hoppy Frazier at the bottom of the order with Roki Sasaki, who's been really a mixed bag to start the year. His fastball's been crushed. He's given up a lot of home runs.
That's surprising too. When you look at his velocity on his fastball, he can touch 99 miles an hour. He has a forkball and a splitter and a slider. Feels like that one splitter would be more of a split finger changeup. The forkball harder drop to that variation of the splitter.
Sasaki's allowed 9 homers in 33 innings this year, 15 in his first 70 major league innings. And Neto hits it hard, but right at Muncy. That ball was lined. Right at the third baseman, 1 out.
And my go-to to have success against Sasaki today, and right on cue, is to be able to just be aggressive on his fastball. And that was a good shot there by Neto. You mentioned those runs, 5 home runs, slugging .662 versus his fastball. To lay off that non-strike forkball. It is a swing and miss pitch. Over 33% whiff percentage on that one. Ball was hit 103 miles an hour off the bat of Neto.
Neto's been rolling. Now the Angels would like Trout to do the same. It has been a rough go here for Trout so far in the month of May, and especially over the last couple of weeks. Just 5 hits in his last 34 at bats. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. That's that forkball for Sasaki. Kind of acts like a breaking ball sometimes, and acts like a changeup sometimes.
Yeah. That's why you always think a forkball and a splitter.
No balls and 2 strikes to count on Trout. In an effort to get Sasaki going, the Dodgers used him some out of the bullpen last year.
Remember, he struggles as a starter at the beginning of the season, but he was really good in the out of the bullpen during the postseason.
Trout almost hit there as Sasaki ran him off the plate. Sasaki throws hard, so to see his fastball getting pelted the way it is, why do you think that would be?
It tells me that he's not confident in that pitch. It's almost like he's showing it. He's not trying to get hitters out with it, because when you're throwing that hard, you should get a lot of outs with that.
That one was right in the zone for Trout, a forkball that stayed in a hittable location.
Yeah, if you get that splitter or forkball upstairs, it's definitely a pitch you can hit a long, long way, especially getting warmer here. The baseball should fly pretty well here at the Big A today.
Now, the Angels have not hit in this ballpark at all this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Trout. And it continues to be head scratching how this team in their home stadium has batted just .206.
That is unreal. Well, you always think of during the, you take care of home and win your games at home and just try to survive, be about 500 on the road. That's a good season for you, but struggling big time at home, especially on the offensive side.
Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Trout laid off that pitch just off the outside edge to make it 3-2.
And breaking news, 3-2 count for Trout.
Well, he's still been drawing his walks, that's for sure. Trout still with a high on base percentage for the season, entering today at .407. That's 7th best in the American League. He hammers this one toward right center field, ticketed for the gap. It one hops the wall, extra bases for Trout, and it's a screaming double with one away.
So 2 baseballs hit really hard already, and you know what? Both pitches were, Wayne, both fastballs. One was caught on the line to Muncy. This one in the right center field gap for a double. 7th of the season. It's good to see from Trout. That was nearly 110 miles per hour off the bat for Trout. There's a fastball out of part of the plate, but down. What a swing. So 2 fastballs hit already. That's what you're talking about, Wayne. How is that possible when you throw that hard? That kind of swings on his fastball.
Nolan Shonowell will try to get the Angels on the board here. As he looks at ball 1 strike on the forkball from Sasaki. Angels have not had a lead in this series. Only 2 runs, which scored in the 6th inning yesterday when they were already down by 6. And one of the biggest issues during this stretch where the Angels have lost 20 out of 25 now. But they haven't scored runs. 16 times they've scored 2 or fewer. 7 times in the last 8 games.
Just need that hit with a runner in scoring position here.
Shonowell thought he had one yesterday, but Andy Pages made an incredible diving catch. One of 10 putouts for Pages yesterday, the most by any outfielder in the majors this year.
And that play against Shonowell for me changed the course of the game. That's a completely different ball game. If that baseball gets by him, that's a run score, and it's going to be a second or third base for Shonowell.
2 balls and a strike. Shonowell with a big cut there, fouls it back, and it's 2-2.
See that batting average versus his 4-seamer. You know, it's unbelievable. 369 slugging at 662 with 5 home runs allowed. 2 baseballs hit extremely hard already on the 4-seamer. I would imagine Shonowell is going to see a fork ball here. Let's try to catch that ball in the upper part of the strike zone.
He's thrown a bunch in the upper part of the strike zone already in this 1st inning. See if Shonowell can tag one the way Trout did on the fastball. 2-2. There is one up again. No slider.
Yeah, he got that right. I mean, that's the spot. Got away with that one.
Naoki Sasaki, another Japanese sensation brought over by the Dodgers, had some incredible numbers while pitching in Japan, including a perfect game that he threw in 2022. And he gets Shonowell to strike out. And the pitch was in the strike zone and kind of in the upper half, but it was the forkball, and it got Shonowell to swing through it.
It could be a nasty pitch. Mentioned just under 34% whiff percentage on that one, and not a lot of spin to that one. You talk about a spin rate on a splitter, 746. And we talk about some breaking balls at over 3,000, so that you can almost read the label on the baseball coming into the plate.
So now 2 down in the inning. Soler trying to lay off on a pitch in the dirt. And he was able to. 1 ball, no strikes. See if Soler can get going again. And that 23 game on base streak that lasted close to a month.
So important, Wayne, to get this run across here.
1 out double with Trout in scoring position. And that slider floats over the middle of the plate, taken by Soler for a strike. A lot of lost opportunities for the Angels with men in scoring position during this 25-game stretch. Ground ball left side and handled by Max Muncy. So Trout doubles, but that's it. Left at second. Nothing in the first.
Since July 31st of 2024, made a couple of rehab appearances, one also in extended spring training in Arizona. He said on Friday, when we found out he would be making his Angels debut on Sunday, being back in the minors was kind of cool. You remember where you came from a little bit, but he said just so grateful to be back on a big league mound. Credit to his family for getting through the dark days of the rehab process, just kind of wondering why certain things kept happening, and then finally getting here, working with the medical staff, kind of able to put a thumb on it, get after it, see what needed to be better, and here we are. He said he gave Perry Manassian a call, said, I'm ready to go.
It's a fly ball to right, shallow off the bat of Tucker. It's dropping, and it falls in front of Adele. It's a base hit for Kyle Tucker that floats in. The leadoff man on here in the second straight inning with a leadoff single for the Dodgers. Well, 655 days is a long road, especially when it didn't really involve the type of surgery or the things that normally will set you back in terms of that regard for Grayson Rodriguez. So it was some setbacks and some frustrations, but he was uproarious about making his debut yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he's so pumped up. And like I mentioned so often, he's a great competitor, too. And he works extremely hard. Tell you what, when you have a changeup like him, you're going to get those little flares that fall in like Tucker just did. He's out in front, not a lot of exit velocity behind it, but sometimes, especially when you have the reputation with a lot of power that Tucker has, it's going to fall into the outfield, but that stay the course with that changeup and still utilize that pitch throughout the game.
The ball's in a strike on Teoscar Hernandez, and he did have a surgery. There was just a little cleanup in that elbow at the end of last year. He'd already been out for over a year by the time he did have any sort of surgery, so it wasn't like it was an operation that it's going to be a long road. There was just a lot of little things that kept him off the mound for a long period of time. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that fastball pumps in there. 96, that's where you want to see Grayson Rodriguez.
There's a lot to like about that fastball, too. When you look at him and his body, he's got a strong lower half. You feel that once he gets through this, what he went through, especially with the elbow and a little bit of shoulder tenderness in spring training carried at the beginning of the season, he's going to be a quality, really top of the end rotation guy with that body he has.
Swing and a miss, and there's his first strikeout in an Angels uniform.
So he's been involved in a double play already, a 3-6-1, then he picks up his first punch out. That's a pitch too, even though it's the upper part of the strike zone. It's a tough one to hit as a right-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher.
Rodriguez had 259 strikeouts in 238 innings as a member of the Orioles. And really, it was about a year and a half's worth of work there, but it was dominant at times. Rodriguez had some really good performances during his tenure with the Orioles. Had a 10 strikeout game against the Red Sox in May of 2024. And a 13-win season that ended in July.
So he threw the first pitch curveball. You could tell he was a little frustrated. First one, that's just trying to get a feel for that pitch early in the game, and came back with a high changeup. We say it often with Max Muncy, you got to get him out in the strike zone.
2-0 the count on Muncy here. He had a good cut of that. 2 balls and 1 strike. Muncy has had a really solid season. 12 home runs as he has mashed his way to the Dodger lead in that category. Although most of his homers have been solo shots, he only has 19 RBIs. At one point, he had 8 homers and 9 RBIs on the year. Let's see. Well, maybe we won't see him. He's on the IL right now, but there's another Max Muncy out there in the world, on the A's.
He's born on the same date, just a few years difference, but the same date too.
And drafted by the same
that
team.
Max Muncy went to Thousand Oaks High School.
3 balls and a strike on this Max Muncy.
Please stand up.
And that's ball 4.
Go back to that changeup, which he has such an effective pitch, and how you get so many swing and miss. This is a 183 batting average, 23-24 slugging percentage, barely over 300. Whip percentage, though, that's the important one. Over 31%. You don't get a lot of swing and misses generally on changeups, but he does, and the hard hit percentage is 35.1. We saw that with that hit by Tucker.
Here's Dalton Rushing, who absolutely smashed the baseball over the first few weeks of the season. He's cooled off considerably since about the 20th of April. At that point, he had 12 hits, 9 extra base hits, 7 home runs in his first 27 at bats on the year. And he has not hit a home run since April 20th.
Watching Max Muncy is a trail runner. Tucker is a good base runner himself at second base. So far, Rodriguez doing a nice job of varying that look back there, but having a tough time with that feel with his changeup, that fastball out of the strike zone also.
2 balls, no strikes on Rushing, who has not had an extra base hit or a home run since that time. 16 games now as O'Hoppe tries to get Rodriguez settled. We'll see. He was stretched out to a point during his rehab assignment. He was in the 90s with his pitches, so from a stretched out standpoint, he should be there. But it's a whole lot different on a major league mound with that adrenaline running for the first time.
That's exactly right. The adrenaline going. You're trying to go out, and you want to do this in front of your fans here at the Big A. First time out since coming over in that trade for Taylor Ward.
Swinging a foul tip, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
This is a great pitch, and sometimes just slowing it down. That's one of those times as a catcher, that conversation, just to be able to slow him down. That's a perfect changeup. See how far out in front he is on that one. Even though a lot of the strike zone with it, he was out in front.
Well, he pronates his wrist on that pitch, and he really kind of honed that pitch with Josh Tomlin, the former major leaguer. They work out together in Texas. Tomlin taught him that pitch and showed him how to grip it and throw it. And it's really blossomed into his best pitch by far. 3-1. That fastball misses, so now back-to-back walks. The bases are loaded here, and Miguel Rojas due up.
He's out there throwing that football. Part of the reason is to be able to get out in front with that. A lot of times when you think throwing a football, it almost simulates throwing a slider, which I think besides his changeup, that's a pitch that has to be able to have a feel for. It's the same throw. When you're throwing a football, it's exactly what you're throwing when it comes to a slider.
Well, here's Rojas, who gets a great hand from the Dodger fans here. And in the long history of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Brooklyn Bridegrooms, and so on and so forth back in the old days. An incredible history as Rodriguez needs a new pitch con. And Miguel Rojas has one of the biggest hits in the history of the Dodgers with his 9th inning game-tying home run in Game 7 of the World Series, with the Dodgers 2 outs away from losing that championship to the Blue Jays.
That was a 3-2 slider too for Hoffman, who has a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and Rojas not real good at that point of his career against fastballs, but he's a real good hitter against sliders. Got the slider, hit it out, but he also made an outstanding defensive play at second base on the force out at home.
Well, we'll get to that too. Maybe one of the greatest defensive plays in the history of the Dodgers, all within a span of about a half hour in Game 7 of last year's World Series.
How about hitting with a double play right now?
Angels would like that. You know, the moment makes the man sometimes, and certainly that was the case for Miguel Rojas last October. 1 ball and no strikes.
Help him out. That's that slider we were talking about, that simulate when you're throwing a football.
And Joe Davis got in a little trouble with Rojas when he said no way when Miguel Rojas hit that game-tying home run, but it was a shocking moment. There's a fly ball to right field as Adele gets set up for a throw here. It's pretty deep. Tucker is on his way to the plate. Here comes the throw from Adele. It's cut off. Tucker scores, and the Dodgers a 1-0 lead.
And if you can escape this inning here with just 1 run allowed, be a good situation for Grayson and the Angels.
After 2 walks, loaded the bases.
Yeah, every starting pitcher, Wayne, is going to have a tough inning. It's a matter of how you can navigate through so you don't give up a crooked number. If you can get through this with only giving up 1, you feel good about your chances of going deep in the game and picking up a W.
Now the batter is the number 9 hitter, Haesung Kim, playing second base again today with Rojas at short in place of Mookie Betts. Kim was hitless but had a walk and a run scored yesterday as he looks at a strike.
Good velocity, 96, 97 we've seen from Rodriguez so far.
Kim fouls one away. I mentioned Kim yesterday as the first Korean player to win a World Series, really the first position player. Although Byung-Hyun Kim, the other Korean player to win a World Series, did everything he could to not win a World Series in 2001. But he did win a World Series as the Diamondbacks did pull off that incredible 9th inning against Mariano Rivera. Runner going, and Kim lines a base hit into right field. Muncy scores over to third base, is rushing, running on the pitch. RBI for Kim, and it's 2-0 Dodgers.
Dodgers going there on an 0-2 count. Anticipated worst case scenario, that quick throw to second. Had a lot more of the plate as curveball.
Now Mike Maddox goes to the mound. A couple of walks turn into runs.
He stayed up. You see where it's right about belt high, and he stayed back on it real well. Even though the speed of the pitch after the fastball before, he kept his hands back, and he lined in the right field for a hit.
Well, the Dodgers strike for a pair. Shohei is the batter, and we'll take a ride with Hyundai.
A car that sees what you can't, how it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
Dodgers are hoping that yesterday got Shohei going, even though his 5 RBIs all came late in a game that had pretty much been decided. Ohtani's only hit 188 so far in the month of May, so they're hoping that with a little more bat speed back in there, and Shohei can find his offense again. He's only hit 1 home run in the month of May. He bats here against Rodriguez, who he has homered against in the past, and there's a strike.
97. Still feel you can get above the hands inside.
Shohei, when he falls behind in the count, he's not homered at all this season. Out of his 7 home runs have all been when he's ahead or even.
Ooh, that's a good job by Ohtani to get to that one. That changeup. He's left a few of them upstairs. Mentioned a field pitch, a changeup is, and you first start out and so long. Sometimes tough to have that consistent feel for your changeup.
Ohtani with a base hit his first time. Dodgers have 2 runs, 2 hits in this inning. And a little tapper foul. One thing Ohtani did yesterday was make some history in the regard of a 5 RBI game against his former team that he won an MVP with. Vladimir Guerrero was an MVP winner with the Angels as well, and he had a 5 RBI game against them as a member of the Rangers back in 2010. 7th time that has happened with Shohei driving at 5 yesterday. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think if you see Kim going, and at some point here, I think you'll see that fake throw the second, quick to third. That fastball, by the way, was 99 miles an hour that Shohei was late on. I wonder if he tries that changeup now.
Still 1-2.
98 mile an hour fastball, so definitely feeling strong out there.
Runner going from first, and he'll steal second base uncontested. Oh, Hoppy thinks that might have been strike 3.
And I think he's going to be right on this one.
After Angels challenge powered by T-Mobile, Shohei Ohtani takes strike 3, and the inning is over. The Rangers will be here, and you can walk away with a new addition to your hat collection. First 25,000 fans get a camo trucker hat courtesy of Angels Radio AM 830. Angels.com/promotions for more info. Yoan Moncada is leading off the bottom of the 2nd against Roki Sasaki. Moncada with a .614 OPS overall. He's been given a long leash here, almost 2 months into the season, for very little production. You can say the same for Josh Lowe as well, who's due up in this inning.
I want to see that swing where he can lift the baseball. It'll be so good to see the right field, see how far he can hit it.
It's in there for a strike, but the Angels, as this team has suffered badly offensively, you've had a few different positions that have given you almost no production. It's not something you can live with for very long, although the Angels have to this point. There is Moncada punching one to the right field corner, although foul, although in play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Moncada. How's that not immediately out of play when it hits the net? I mean, it made sense when that was there to begin with, because the only netting was behind home plate. It was from dugout to dugout. That was the only netting they had. So in that area, when the ball got away and it hit the net, a wild pitch, it stayed in play, hitting the net. But down the lines, that's ridiculous.
I was known to hit that netting every once in a while behind the plate with a wild pitch.
I'm sure.
Just to keep everybody awake.
Moncada down on strikes. Sasaki has his 2nd strikeout.
So he threw a splitter. He threw a couple splitters there. It's a little harder, but not much more than his forkball. It's just a matter of how deep in the hand you put the baseball between a splitter and a forkball.
Adele could not hold his swing there out in front against Suzuki. Adele has had some issues in day games in the past, has not had any this year in day games. He's at .313. He has 13 of his 27 RBIs in day baseball this year and half of his home runs. But he's behind here 0-2. A couple of check swings.
And now all of a sudden he's got a feel for the splitter.
Foul ball. It was a fork ball that
that's
time.
the fork ball that time.
Well, what is the difference between the fork
Well, it's
ball?
really how you have your fingers split between the baseball. The fork ball, generally you have their fingers all the way in there split wide open. The splitter is going to have more, it splits between the seams of the baseball, the two seams. I always think of fork ball, I think of Bruce Sutter, the Hall of Famer.
The ball's 2 strikes. There's a swing and a miss on the slider that time. So a fork ball and a splitter sound pretty similar, but there is a little slight variation.
You see right there, you have the baseball all the way in on the fork ball, but the splitter, you're just splitting on the seams of the baseball. So there's fork ball, here splitter. A little bit different action on it, very similar velocity of the pitch, but it's going to be a little bit more of a drop on the fork ball that I said that Bruce Sutter went to the Hall of Fame using.
2 outs with Josh Lowe at the plate. You see the difference here. The left is the fork ball with the wider grip.
Yeah, exactly. And then more so on the splitter, you're just going towards the seams. It's a little bit less. I'll tell you what, that's a lot of pressure on your forearm and your elbow too.
Suzuki, just 24 years old, signed by the Dodgers last year. Another Japanese sensation coming over. Bouncer foul off the bat of Lowe, although he has not pitched quite like it yet. Missed a lot of time last year to shoulder injury. Came back and was pretty good in the playoffs. 1 run allowed in 10 2/3 innings. Had 3 saves in postseason play after returning. Kind of broke the mold in some way, because normally players wait until they turn 25. That way they can get into the posting process and make more money. But in Suzuki's case, he came before he turned 25, and that made him an international free agent, which did not give him the big payday that you see a lot of others get from Japan. Here's a bouncer to first base as Freeman handles that. Quick hitting for Suzuki.
Rock and roll, something to believe in. You have your guy here you brought in a deal, Grayson Rodriguez. He had that tough little last half inning, hopefully turns it on and be able to put up some zeros from this point forward. Believe in your starters and get the offense going and win this game against the Dodgers.
It seems like every time the Angels get into a predicament with bases on balls, they pay for it. Certainly did yesterday. Jose Soriano was cruising into the 6th inning, and all of a sudden lost command. The Dodgers just waited him out, and it turned into a big inning and a huge lead by the end of it. And today, Grayson Rodriguez, after 1-out single, or rather a leadoff single by Tucker in the top of the 2nd, struck out a hitter, but then walked 2, and that got him into some trouble, allowing 2 runs. There's a strike on the curve to Freddie Freeman.
Wayne, I got a chance to talk to Soriano today about, even where we talked about on the broadcast, how his wrist dropped a little bit. And that's why he had more of that lateral movement on his sinker, instead of that dive at the bottom. And he said Urania came up to him and talked to him, said the same exact thing after the game. It's great when you have that kind of relationship. Those two are together all the time. And he said, you know what? I'm going to make that adjustment. I'm going to stay on top. I'm going to stay on top of the baseball and work that sinker down.
Mookie Betts said after the game that they just felt like Soriano was falling behind even while he was pitching well during the game. They just kind of made a more conscious decision to wait him out the way that they did, and that turned into a big-time performance. 15 runs, 10 hits, as Freeman's down on strikes.
After a good challenge there, and then finish him off on 3 pitches. Love to see that. No need to go into a waste pitch when you work ahead like that. Finish off as quick as possible.
Last team to have 15 runs with just 10 hits was the Tigers in 1993. Dodgers hadn't done it since they were still a New York team the year they won the World Series in 1955. That's 3 strikeouts for Grayson Rodriguez.
It's a good pitch there too. That's a ride to it.
It was right before he got hurt, and it was when he was starting to roll into ace form as an Oriole. I am still surprised they gave it up on him. I mean, Taylor Ward will helped that offense throughout this season, but there's no guarantee he'll be there beyond this season.
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike on Pages, who's been great this year. Fly ball to right center field. Moving after a Trout and Adele, and it's Trout cutting in front.
And Trout was calling for it, but Joe Adele was able to make the catch on it. That's a dangerous one. That's 2 rather large human beings running at each other.
It certainly is, and they crossed paths as Trout and Adele were in the same vicinity there.
See Trout calling for it. The last second brought his glove down.
Landed in the glove of Adele, crossing behind him to make that catch. 2 outs. Not an easy play with those 2 almost touching gloves there.
And some glaring sunshine right now too.
Kyle Tucker now had a base hit his first time. Scored the first Dodger run in the second. Fastball strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Tucker.
Go back to that 24 season, 48% fastball usage for Grayson Rodriguez. He's starting to have a better feel for his fastball. That makes these pitches better. That's the best curveball he's thrown now. Stayed on top, had the 4-seamer now. He had the good delivery with that curveball out over the front leg. Well, that's when you look at that as far as average fastball velocity at 96.3.
Tucker hits it hard. Diving stop by Adam Frazier, and Tucker's out to end the inning.
Frazier went down to make that play on the dive.
1, 2, 3 for Grayson Rodriguez with some help on the end of it from Adam Frazier. 5,000 fans in attendance at Angel Stadium Monday, June 1st against Colorado. Walk away with a new City Connect cooler tote courtesy of Yakult probiotic drink. Angels.com/promotions for more info.
Good crowd here today. I saw some fans came all the way from Montana today to watch the game. They couldn't wait to go see Mike Trout. Mike Trout will do something special for them today.
The ball's 2 strikes. Why wouldn't you come from Montana or anywhere else?
And they were just telling me they had snowed this the other day. I'm like, wait, give it a little time. We'll see some sunshine. We got some sunshine working right now.
The ball's 2 strikes on Logan O'Hoppe. It was a little cloudy this morning, and just before the game started, the sun started to peek out. 1 ball, 2 strikes on O'Hoppe. Suzuki has been around the plate so far. Only 9 pitches out of the strike zone out of his first 35.
That's not something you'll see often from him, but if he throws strikes, he is very difficult to square up. Still got to sit fastball against him and react on that fork or split upstairs.
The Angels saw him at Dodger Stadium right before the season started in those exhibition three-way series games, and he was wild in the first few innings of that. Has not walked anybody yet so far today. 2 balls, 2 strikes on O'Hoppe. Chopped off the plate and foul. Suzuki has walked at least 1 hitter in every start, multiple hitters in 5 of his performances so far. Just has not been crisp as a major leaguer yet. The Dodgers certainly believe in his arm, and they think that he'll get there at some point. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a good slider, maybe the best one we've seen so far today.
4 punch outs in the game already for Suzuki. That's a bite to it. Different action than is compared to the forkball and splitter. Now, Adam Frazier, I think right now, first pitch look fastball. If it's elevated, that's a pitch he can do some damage to.
Adam Frazier getting a start at second base today. We've seen him enough in the position player pitching performances. Something you just dread to see. Frazier's already done that 3 times this year, including yesterday.
That's probably why his arm was loosened up on that great defensive play he made that last half inning.
He was able to chuck that no problem. Out in front of that splitter, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. That splitter has a lot more dive to it. There's another one diving out of the zone for strike 3. As Rushing flips it over. That's 5 strikeouts now for Suzuki. His season high is only 6. Here's Zach Neto, who has turned things around here of late, and he has really hammered the Dodgers. You go back to his last 10 games against them, he has hit .389.
Yeah, last season he did crush them there, including 4 doubles and 3 home runs, 8 RBI. Even his first at bat today, the line shot that Muncy caught.
Suzuki has never had more than 6 strikeouts in a major league game. He already has 5 the first time through the lineup today. Neto in a season worth of games against the Dodgers. That doesn't even count the triple play. If you take the 3 total bases he took away there, he'll pass the others. Fly to right, moves Tucker over toward the corner, and Tucker runs it down to win the inning. The incredible triple plays that you'll ever see. Shohei Ohtani hitting a liner to right to Zach Neto, and all in one motion, just in a blur. He catches it, steps on second, throws to first, and gets 3 outs in about 0.12 seconds.
Wayne, you can't teach instincts like that. He's already in his mind. He was playing that play through. Somehow was be able to react that quickly and made that play for a triple play.
It seemed like he did play it through in his mind. He said he didn't, though. He said it was all just pure reaction. But as you said, you can't teach those instincts.
No. There's a couple guys that I always felt to have those instincts. Omar Vizquel was a great player for a lot of years with Cleveland and other teams, Seattle. He always had those in. Ozzie Smith had those. Andrelton Simmons. Something about shortstop position.
Well, and as Dalton Rushing shows a little bit more of his personality this year, more fans are hearkening back to him slipping on the banana peel there at first base. And the embarrassing end of that play for Dalton Rushing. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hernandez. Leading off here in the 4th inning. Teoscar Hernandez starting to swing the bat a bit. Hadn't homered in a month until he hit one the other night, and he's 8 for his last 16.
Rodriguez tried to get him to go after another breaking ball. He's throwing a steady diet of curveballs and sliders here now. It's got that 2 strike count.
It's ball 4, so Rodriguez walks the leadoff man in this 4th inning. It's the 3rd walk issued by Rodriguez. Back to his time with the Orioles. Walks were never really a big problem for him. Averaged about 3 walks per 9 innings, yet he's walked 3 already in 3+ innings today. Muncy was one of those bases on balls. He also scored in the 2nd.
Always remember, though, is those rehab starts, or you can still have the adrenaline going. It's a different adrenaline when you're at the major league level. So yes, there's some overthrowing some pitches, and that's why you're seeing a few more pitches out of the strike zone than normal for Grayson.
One ball, 1 strike, the count. That's fastball in there, and it's 95. And again, when you see Rodriguez touching this velocity, you feel like he's going to get back to that form pretty quickly.
Yes. Like I said, uses that lower half of his body very well.
1-2 the count on Muncy. Big 6'4" right-hander. He's from Nacogdoches, Texas. He's kind of a Texan through and through. Born in Houston initially. I wonder if there's even more velocity in the tank at some point here.
I think so. I really do. Hasn't thrown a whole lot, really, when you think about it.
Well, there's one point stronger. When he was at Double-A Bowie in the Orioles system, he threw a 99-mile-an-hour fastball that broke the catcher's mitt of Adley Rutschman.
Now that would be the ultimate thrill as a pitcher. Not for a catcher.
2 balls, 2 strikes still on Muncy. Drafted in 2018, and he really tore through the minor leagues. He showed himself to be a future star, and he looked like that star was about to spread out as a member of the Orioles. The injuries over the last couple of seasons just took him out of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Muncy. Had a really good start against the Angels in that 2024 season. We'll flash you back to that at Camden Yards.
I remember he had that great changeup working that day with 9 strikeouts. That's a pretty good movement. Only 1 walk. Just 1 earned run allowed. And you talk about painting corners.
That was the 2nd or 3rd game of that season. I think it was the 2nd. Muncy waves and misses, strike 3. A curveball at the top of the zone got Muncy to chase a bit.
So he's got a couple strikeouts on breaking balls, upper part of the strike zone. Separation of speeds of the pitches. Pretty good spin on it. And going back to what you said, Wayne, I think there is some more in the tank as far as velocity on his fastball and consistency.
Dalton rushing with a fly ball to center field, hit well. Trout's back for it. He's out near the wall, and he has just enough room to haul it in. Rushing flies out to deep center. 2 outs as Hernandez goes back.
Just an out. Just an out. Hit well. Remember pitching at Old Tiger Stadium in Comerica Park right now. If they say, why don't you get everybody to hit a fly ball to center field? You got to crush it. Well, if you could do that, you'd be all right. That same thing there to center field. Down the lines, it's a home run. Center field, it's an out. I never figured out how to do that one though, Wayne. I wish.
I bet so. Miguel Rojas at the plate now as he looks at a strike.
Four-seam fastball at 41%. That changeup at 29% so far. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from his slider.
Just can't leave one in the middle of the plate to Rojas.
No.
97 on that last fastball from Rodriguez. Might have been the firmest one we've seen today. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Hit hard and through into left field. Well, that was a breaking ball in the center of the plate. And that's exactly what we just talked about.
And I think part of the reason why I was able to make contact with that was because it was in the inner part of the plate. If it goes away, even though elevated, I don't think he gets that good of a swing. And it wasn't crushed, but he hit it the right spot.
The Dodgers keep the inning going here. 2 out, 2 on, and Kim will bat again. Kim had an RBI single earlier.
Remember, I was an 0-2 pitch.
Breaking ball drops in for a strike, and it's 2-1.
You know, it's 2 pitches really when you think about it. He gets Max Muncy on a curveball. See, it's away on him and it's elevated, but this time his curveball is on the inner half of the plate. You could still even be out in front enough, but you keep your hands back, you get a base hit on it. That's the difference between the outer part of the plate and the inside part, especially on a breaking ball. That's not by design necessarily, because that's kind of slipped out of his hand. Didn't get that quite where he wanted to over the front leg, but it still had him out enough, but he kept his hands back and was able to get it. If it's away, he's not going to be able to do so.
Just off the outside corner there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kim fairly tough to strike out. Tends to put the ball in play. And Rodriguez does have 4 strikeouts already today.
2, 3, 4 coming up for the Halos. The bottom of the 4th for Grayson to see if he gets some run support. Get through this inning with a 0.
Slapped foul, and it stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. But another 97 on that heater. Even within the machinations of this game, we're seeing Grayson Rodriguez's velocity pump back up into the high 90s now.
A pretty good indication why, Wayne, it's tough to strike out Kim. That was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside part of the plate down, and he still fouled it off.
Just that quick punch from Kim. And here's a punch to first. Shonowell backhands. It looks to second, now throws to first, and Kim wins the race to the bag. It's an infield hit. Everybody's safe, and the bases are loaded for Shohei.
Yeah, you can see he was able to beat that one out. Tried to lead him. Was able to beat it out. Now you have trouble.
It's a big spot now. Certainly bases loaded. Kim's 2 for 2 today. And it's Ohtani with the Dodger everywhere. Lines it right center, base hit. Hernandez scores. Rojas scores. Kim to third. And with Kim winning that race to the bag, prolonging the inning, Shohei Ohtani gets 2 more RBIs to make it 4-0.
And again, another base hit. It was not hit hard by Ohtani. Curveball, a little bit off the inside part of the plate.
We said it at the outset of the inning. Almost every time the Angels walk somebody, they pay for it. Leadoff walk to start this inning.
Yep. And really, that's actually really smart hitting by Ohtani there. After you're not able to get the first base as a pitcher, it plays into your head. So you're going to be ready to swing at the first pitch. Even though it wasn't a bad one there from Rodriguez, he was still able to fight that one off.
Now it's Freddie Freeman who's 0 for 2 today. 4 runs now for the Dodgers on 6 hits. 3 walks. 2 of them have come around to score. And Rodriguez will certainly be kicking himself for not getting to first base sooner on that ball that Kim hit.
And that's why I say it's such a difficult one, the next batter, and the next batter being Ohtani to boot, where you know in your mind that anything hit to that right side of the infield, you're over there as quick as possible. So all of a sudden that negative thought creeps into your head.
A couple of big innings with high pitch counts has put Rodriguez at 75 pitches in 3 2/3. Rodriguez falling behind Freeman now 3-0 with Pages on deck. Dodgers have outscored the Angels now 25-2 in this series.
He's going to be up like we saw the other day with Pages. He's going to be swinging here 3-0 if it's in his zone.
Ball 4. Fourth walk. Bases loaded again. Mike Maddox will walk us to a word from Jack in the Box.
Get my new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal for a chance to win $75,000. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Frustrating right now. Frustrating because you made a pitch to get out of an inning and you just a little bit delayed going to first base.
You got to get over and make your play defensively too.
Yep.
Which Rodriguez did not. Extended the inning. And frankly, with the way this team has been hitting, 4-0 seems like a lot. Andy Pages can make it a lot more. He has been their best run producer so far this year. 39 RBIs for Pages. Second in the National League. He's at .415 with runners in scoring position. Jose Fermin is up in the Angels bullpen. The Angels relievers will get some work today and a long week coming up. 4-game series with the A's and then 3 with Texas before the next day off. Lined and through a base hit. Kim and Ohtani score 6 runs for the Dodgers against Grayson Rodriguez. Pages now has driven in 41 on the year.
Oh, is his swing completely different than we saw at times last year? That defense already elite. Now you're seeing elite offense. Really the best hitter on the team for the Dodgers this season.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to think that when you have Ohtani and Freeman and Betts, and they gave Kyle Tucker $60 million a year. But as it's turned out, Andy Pages has been their best offensive player. And we noted the incredible defense that he brings to the table as well.
Well, it's amazing. Just that one little play, and it looks like that's going to be it for him.
Yep, you got to make the plays, and Rodriguez did not, which spoils what looked to be a pretty decent outing and turns it into one that's not so good. 6 runs for Rodriguez in his debut with the team. It is 6-0 as he heads out. Ford of Orange step up to the plate and drive home a winner today at Villa Ford of Orange. By the OC Healthcare Agency, your mental wellness resource. Angels and the Dodgers played Freeway Series games all the way back to the 1960s. Those were all exhibition games until 1997. This is the 30th season in which the games have counted among interleague play. Seems crazy to think that interleague play has been around that long already, almost 30 years. And this is the 30th season of interleague play. Kind of hard to even believe that they didn't always have interleague play. Why didn't they?
I would have loved that.
Yeah. Baseball tried to institute it back when expansion started. And it just kind of was one of those things that dragged along.
But the one thing it did, you know, it made the All-Star game a little bit more intriguing in the World Series because you didn't face any of those clubs during the regular season, though.
Yeah, even the World Series, you're right. It was always more interesting. At least, still the World Series is always interesting, but it had a different wrinkle to it, I should say. Here's Tucker driving in another run. Freddie Freeman comes in. Racing to third is Pages. 7-0.
Tucker doing Tucker things against the Angels.
And Tucker's always crushed this team. Back to his Houston days, even last year as a Cub.
Yeah, remember, he was struggling. And then all of a sudden came in and got hot.
Kind of struggled again after that. It was just a brief respite against the Angels. And the Dodgers have batted around once again.
When you look at this, 27 home runs. It's active players, an OPS over 1,000.
Dodgers batted around twice yesterday. It's a foul ball. And they batted around again here in this inning. Run charge to Rodriguez. And ultimately, Grayson Rodriguez showed you some potential for what should be a building block year for him as he rebounds from missing a lot of time. But he didn't cover first base, and that turns out to really be a big blemish on him here today.
Man, Wayne, I'm telling you, as a pitcher, whenever you do that, it gets in your mind right away. And I think I played a part in it. You had a tough time getting through the inning after that. Because you know you made your pitch. You know you should be out of the inning. The defense made the play behind you. There's no real play at second base for Sean Wells, so you got to be there right away no matter what. And he'll play that over, and he'll make the changes to make sure that never happens again.
Fly ball hit well to center. Trout backs up for it and has some space to end this inning, but a 5-spot and a 7-run Dodger lead. Well, it's our Kia player profile of the day for Mike Trout. We're just going to find reasons to propel Trout into the Kia player profile. So why not 3-ball counts?
I think you just start 3-2 count.
That would save us some time anyway. Taylor Ward leads the majors in 3-ball count percentage. Nick Kurtz is second. You know what those guys do a lot? They draw walks.
Yeah. The thing with Taylor Ward, he's so patient. He will not go out of his zone. He's going to look for his pitch every at bat. He figures he's going to at least get one in that zone, and he attacks it.
You know, 3-ball counts often turn into 4-ball counts. And that's why Trout's on base percentage is over 400 again. His OPS still close to 900 right against it. And even this, with the struggles of late, he did have a double his first time up today. We'll see Trout drive one. Mentioned here at Angel Stadium how he's only hit 2 of his 11 home runs here. It's not typical of his career at all.
Yeah, that was a great swing to right center field too. That generally means if he gets something inside part of the plate, he's going to turn on it.
Pops this one up. Miguel Rojas at the shortstop position with the easy out.
Well, you go back to last year, the Halos had such success against the Dodgers, 6-0, and they won 7 in a row. But Dodgers remember that. They've played real well in this series so far. Unfortunately for the Halos, they've pitched well, and they've really done a good job as far as getting a lot of traffic on the bases and capitalizing when they do.
We talked about it with the Angels sweeping the Dodgers in a season series. A last place team to do that to both the reigning world champion and the eventual world champion as the Dodgers won back-to-back titles. It was a historic feat that the Angels pulled off. But so far this year it's been all Dodgers. Dodgers have not swept a series here at Angel Stadium in front of fans ever. A lot of fans certainly that are getting to watch this one if the Dodgers do go the distance today, up by 7 already.
Another huge crowd here again this afternoon.
We've seen 45,000 each of the first 2 days. Could be right around there again today. But this would be the first Dodger sweep in this ballpark in front of fans. They did it in 2020 during the pandemic with nobody here. Well, except you.
Yes.
You were here. But no fans were allowed in then. That's the only time the Dodgers have had a sweep in this ballpark. Shonowell grounds a base hit.
Splitter. A little bit more elevated. Good swing there for Shonowell.
Here's Shonowell just working on his flips there with the beach ball, and boom.
Every once in a while as a hitter, you hear they say that baseball looked like a beach ball. That's why I hit it so well.
This one lands in the front row right behind home plate.
It's right by my pals from Montana.
Those were the Montana folks.
Yes.
Huh?
Right next to the little guys right there looking for it.
Now it is 0-2 on Soler with Shonowell at first base.
It's a big crowd here. The Halo is averaging over 36,000. The Dodgers are averaging 50,000. The Padres over 41,000. So, boy, the fans in SoCal are loving their baseball.
Yeah, baseball in Southern California. It is a beautiful thing. There's one that squeaks away from rushing and puts Shonowell in scoring position. These teams are beloved down here. The sport thriving here in Southern California. We just would like to see the Angels get to a point where they're as competitive as the Padres and the Dodgers.
Got to get back to that. It really starts on just the winning attitude. You got to have that. And
just some attitude in general.
Yep.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Soler. And a wave and a miss, strike 3.
Pretty good slider there. Zaki.
When a team doesn't score, I mean, it's natural to look. He's kind of going through the motions. When you're not hitting, there's not those emotional moments in games when you're not scoring runs or having big comebacks. But it just makes the whole thing look lackadaisical overall, whether it is or isn't. It just looks that way when a team isn't scoring. Yoan Moncada fouls one back. No balls and 1 strike.
I know you try to simplify it when you're at the plate, but I really come down to even talking over the last few seasons. Whenever there's ruts you go in as a hitter, you still have to, your mindset has to be, I have to look for my pitch. I cannot look for all the pitches around the quadrants of the strike zone. I still have to stay in my zone where I can be effective.
Bouncing ball, and it bleeds into right field. A base hit. Shonowell hits for the plate. RBI Moncada, and the Angels get on the board.
Base hit with runner in scoring position. That was a fork ball. Moncada picks up its 10th RBI of the season. So you just get a pitch in that zone. Just make sure you make good contact.
Strike 1 to Joe Adell.
Another fork ball. Big swing here by Joe Adell, and all of a sudden you feel like you're still part of this game.
Roki Sasaki tends to suffer as the day goes along. This roller to Kim ends the inning. Couple of hits, 1 run. Angels still a long way to go.
Nelson shoving, and a fight breaks out between Belcher and Park. And Park kicks Belcher. And both benches will empty. And it didn't take long for Belcher and Park to square off.
Now, what a moment that was. Tim Belcher and Chan Ho Park squaring off. Park got the kick in, but Belcher went to work.
Yes, yeah, he had some quick little punches there in the end. And every time, you know, we played the Dodgers, they said, we're going to show a picture of you and some highlights of you in your Angels uniform. I go, oh, I can only imagine what you're going to show. I go, no, we wouldn't do that again, Tim.
Max Muncy seemed to go around there, I would say.
Every time Hank Conger comes in the ballpark, we mention that, you know, show that little stumble going down the first baseline, too, because of we love you.
Pitcher in there for the Angels, Mitch Ferris. After Alek Manoah was sent to AAA before the game today, Ferris becomes that long man in the bullpen. And he'll be out there for a while today, at least until the Angels have a chance to perhaps get back in it. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Muncy. Ground ball up the middle, diving stop. Frazier has it from his knees, gets Muncy, a good play.
Well, we highlight him on the defense, and he's really been hot on the defense today. 2 outstanding plays. Adam Frazier. Once against Tucker, now against Muncy. Showing some range. Off balance throw, gets Muncy.
Dalton rushing with a walk and a fly out today. The count now on rushing. Flight out to deep center field. Send Trout all the way to the wall. That's a 4-pitch walk. Forget about your Angels bobblehead collection. Yusei Kikuchi's bobblehead will be added to the list. 25,000 fans Monday, June 8th. Get that Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead courtesy of JAE, Japan Aviation Electronics Industry Limited. Visit angels.com/promotions.
Probably see him starting to throw pretty soon. He's starting to feel a lot better, a lot stronger to his shoulder.
Rojas takes ball 1. It's a pretty formidable looking rotation when you have Soriano improving, Jack Kohanowicz, Reed Detmers, Walbert Urania, who has emerged, and Grayson Rodriguez, who's now returned. So Kikuchi can add some experience and value to that. One ball, 1 strike on Rojas, who has an RBI on a sac fly and a base hit and a run scored today.
It's that good changeup Ferris has too. That foul ball off the hand of Logan Hoppe. Kurt Suzuki was talking about that today. How often he gets hit back there with foul balls everywhere. Off the mask, you know, break a ball as it bounce, get that wrist. It's a big target, like Joe Mauer when he was behind the plate. That's a big catcher, so a lot more parts to be able to get hit by. Still amazing after all those years how Joe Mauer won batting titles as a catcher. A Hall of Famer, Joe Mauer.
There's a ball shot up the middle. Neto scoops, flips to second for 1. Frazier to first, double play. Watch Angels games all year long here on ABTV, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino. We'll have a full week of games for you with the A's in town for 4. The Rangers for 3. Some division games. Finally, the Angels haven't played any since the first weekend in April.
Texas played well today down here in Houston. They were able to win that one. Houston won some games against them of late. They won 8-0. The Rangers.
Some crazy games in other city rivalries today.
Yes,
the
extra
Mets,
inning ones, huh?
And the wild finishes. The Mets had a 3-run homer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Tyrone Taylor to come back and beat the Yankees eventually in 10 innings. 7-6 as the Mets won 2 out of 3 against the Yankees in Queens. The Cubs and White Sox had a back and forth game where Tristan Peters hit his first major league home run in the bottom of the 8th. A 3-run homer to put the Sox up by 3. Then Michael Conforto hit a game-tying homer in the top of the 9th inning to send the game to extras. Cubs got 1 in the top of the 10th, and then Edgar Caro hit his first homer of the year in the bottom of the 10th to walk it off for the White Sox.
Wow.
They beat the Cubs 9-8.
How about the White Sox this season? They are now 2 games over 500.
Peters and Caro each hit their first home runs of the year, and Peters hit the first of his career.
Tell you what, we've seen them enough already this year, the White Sox. They're playing some really tough, gritty baseball, too.
Yeah. In 1983, when they won the division under Tony La Russa, it was a team like that. They called it winning ugly. And they won ugly, and they certainly did today. 9-8. Cubs bullpen really gave it up in the end. Cubs have a lot of pitching issues from an injury standpoint right now.
That division is so wide open to that NL Central. Wow.
Yeah, wide open in a different sort of way than the AL Central or the AL West. They're wide open because nobody's grabbed it. The NL Central's wide open because everybody's playing well. You have 3 teams that are 9 games above 500 or better, and everybody's over 500 in that National League Central division.
And as much as the Halos have struggled, you got a 4-game set with the Athletics. If you somehow put it all together, you can pick up some games immediately against a team in first place.
Yeah, that's the benefit.
That's how crazy this division has been.
The benefit of division games, certainly, although the Angels, with a loss today, would be 15 games under 500. And it's beyond just a cold stretch now for a team that some believed their best baseball was ahead. Well, we haven't seen it yet. Josh Lowe with a line drive base hit up the middle. The Sacktown A's will be here. They're in first place, such as it is in the AL West, but just 1 game above 500. Despite a negative run differential, they are ahead at this point in the AL West.
Yeah, Langoliers has really turned into a great hitter. And Kurtz, we know how well he can hit. A lot of his home runs still going to left center. That's a good at bat for Josh Lowe. 8th pitch he saw, line shot, 106 miles per hour.
Here's a bouncing ball that will be a double play as Kim fields it, steps on second, and gets 2 outs.
And that is why, as a pitcher, you look back, know where your infielder's at. Suzuki right away, let it go. It's going to be an easier play because once you make the throw, you never know. Pulls the glove back, he knows where his infielder's at, steps on the bag, easy, double play. When you're at home playing baseball, softball, you see that, you know where your infielders are at. Let that baseball go. It's a much easier play for an infielder on that one, and as compared to making that catch and then making the throw. You never know where it's going to be thrown.
Frazier fouled that off his foot. Roki Sasaki only 1 run allowed in 4 2/3 innings.
He's made some really nasty pitches. Adam Frazier so far, Sasaki has. He's thrown a fork ball, splitters, and now a slider.
It's 0-2, and it's 0-3. Sasaki strikes him out. It's all play ball. Don't miss play ball weekend, June 5th through the 7th, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. Visit playball.org to register for a free event near you today. It's the 6th inning now. The Dodgers have a 7-1 lead. And Sung Kim is 2 for 2. He has an RBI and a run scored this afternoon. Grayson Rodriguez responsible for all 7 runs. Well, it was Rodriguez not covering first base that allowed that Dodger 5-run 4th inning to unfold when Kim hit a ground ball to first that should have been the 3rd out, or could have been at least. Shonowell looked to second base, and then when he turned to first, Rodriguez could not win the foot race against Kim on the bag there.
Is that not an attempted bunt there?
Evidently, it was not.
That one tried again.
Called strike that time. 1 ball, 1 strike. After that Kim base hit, that infield hit, Shohei had a 2-run single. So did Pages, and then Tucker an RBI hit. All 5 runs with 2 outs, and all 5 runs after that play at first.
One of those ones too is you'll remember that one, and you'll guarantee anything hit to that right side of the infield from this point forward, you're flying over there to first base.
Kim reaching on the changeup for strike 3. Mitch Ferris has his first strikeout. 1 out here in the 6th inning. One of those situations for Ferris where he might have to eat up 4 or 5 innings here today.
Yeah, no off days for a while.
Yeah, if the Angels
Memorial Day.
A week from tomorrow, so if the Angels don't make it a closer game, we'll see Ferris as long as he can stand to be out there. 1 ball, no strikes on Shohei, who has 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a run scored today. That's 7 RBIs in his last 5 trips to the plate, including 5 runs knocked in yesterday. 2 balls and no strikes. A little concerned for his offense, as he has really devoted himself to being a pitcher this year. The Dodgers have given him some extra days off in terms of his hitting. As he looks at a strike here, and it's 2-1. The offense not quite the same as we have come to expect.
I firmly believe you're going to see him hitting on the day he pitches real soon. Just my conversation with him today, I think it makes him, in my opinion, a better pitcher too.
Well, he can't be much better of a pitcher than what he's been.
But it makes, but also he can drive in some runs for himself.
2-2. I don't know if he needs him. He's been unbelievably good on the mound. It's just really a matter if he continues to pitch this way. Really, he pitched that way at the end of last year too, when he came back from having that second elbow surgery.
I mean, he was incredible when you look at 22 for the Angels on the mound, though. I mean, unbelievable.
He's called out on strikes here. Second time he has struck out looking today. In the 2022 season, the best Shohei has pitched in a full year of pitching. We'll go back to when he was 4th in AL Cy Young voting that season.
Also, what do you have? 36 home runs that year too.
Yeah, that was a good year.
Yeah, it's a keeper.
At a 2.33 ERA, won 15 games.
He had what, 216 punchies?
219. Yeah.
219. I took 3 away from him.
Yeah.
Just to keep him on, keep him honest.
You know, and Judge hit 62 homers that year, and I don't know how you keep the MVP away from Shohei that year.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one time in this 5-year stretch for Shohei that he didn't win the MVP, and he was runner-up to Judge that season. 2 MVPs in each league. Only 2 players have won the MVP in each league, and both spent some time with the Angels. Frank Robinson did too near the end of his career. One ball, 2 strikes on Freddie Freeman. Shohei with 4 MVP awards now. Barry Bonds, the all-time MVP record holder, with 7.
By the way, he should have had more than 7. I think people just got bored voting.
Well, the one year when Terry Pendleton won, he should have won that year, which would have gave him 8. That's a called 3rd strike as well to Freeman, and that ends the inning. Mitch Ferris strikes out the side in the 6th.
Leading off for your Angels, shortstop number 9, Zach Neto.
Get ready for the World Cup, and we bring the pitch to the Big A with an Angels soccer jersey. The first 25,000 fans Friday, June 12th against the Rays. Take home an Angels soccer jersey courtesy of Miller Children's Women's Hospital. Angels.com/promotions. Zach Neto leads off the bottom of the 6th inning, 0 for 2 today. Flied out to right field his last time. Hit the ball sharply to start the game. And he lined out to Max Muncy at 3rd. Uptick for Neto recently. 10 straight games now he's been on base.
Good to see him back at that leadoff spot. Get that extra at bat during the course of the game.
Still puts a lot on himself just to be the spark plug and the leader at the top of the order.
Exactly. But I mean, that's what you want. You want a guy that wants to go up there before him. Yes, sometimes you let that wear on you. That's how much he wants to help his team win.
Such a dynamic player when he's at his best on offense and defense. You know, regardless of standings and record, you still have all this time left, and that's the middle of May.
Yeah.
So you, at the very least, just want to see guys play up to their level.
Well, the Phillies right now, as bad as they were, they're over 500 right now. Mets are actually making their way up.
Yeah, Mets beat the Yankees, and they won 2 out of 3. Mets are 10-5 in May. Neto goes down on strikes as he takes strike 3. 1 out. Here's Aaron.
Well, no swarm of gnats in front of home plate today so far. We saw it a bunch last night. Joe Adele swatting them, the home plate umpire getting involved. Vaughn Grissom was swatting at them as well, who joked that they lead the league in gnats right now. He said usually they're up high enough that you can kind of manage, but last night he said they were right in the line of sight, and the guy on the mound was throwing a sinker, so it was tough. He said, you know, it's bad when the umpire gets involved. Soriano had some in front of the mound as well. He said it was tough. A couple times he'd get set, then they were on the side of his head too. So I don't know we don't know what's going on. We've got to get to the bottom of it.
There's a fly ball from Trout, left center field. Pages going back has room. Can I interject just with one thing?
Yes.
The Nationals lead the league in gnats.
That joke was already made with Kurt Suzuki this morning. You're late to the party there, Wayne.
Oh, I hate that. I'd ruin my whole day.
Never want to be late to the party.
No, never.
Oh. Well, you can be like Troy Percival on the mound. Just don't even really look. Just throw it as hard as you can.
Could do that.
Yes.
2 outs as Sasaki has put together 5 2/3 innings now. 1 run allowed.
To see Percy yesterday, he was at the celebration of life for Garrett Anderson. It was good seeing Percy, and boy, did he have a lot of love for GA.
Yeah, who didn't? We certainly heard all the great stories at that memorial service yesterday for Garrett Anderson. Mentioned the really great tributes from Garrett's kids first and foremost, but also Eduardo Perez.
When you say that, I still have goosebumps on my arm. How beautiful they were, talking about their dad, how much he meant to them, and how they still feel him, which you hope they will, and I know they will, the rest of their lives.
I love Tim Salmon's point too, that he pointed out each kid and told them a characteristic that reminds them so much of their dad. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Shotwell.
And you could see, you really could see when you talk to him, it's like, wow, you close your eyes, open your eyes, it's like, it's GA right there with him.
Well, this organization will celebrate Garrett Anderson forever. He certainly left his imprint and legacy here, as he did clearly on his family. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Shotwell. That's a great thing with the GA out there in right center field, and on the jerseys, and on our equipment here in the booth. And his presence felt not just this year, but forever in this organization. The balls, 2 strikes on Shotwell.
Good at bat, last at bat for Shotwell, and scored the run. And we got a splitter up.
Lines it toward shallow center. Pages comes in, and man, oh man, Andy Pages.
He has some coverage out there.
Well, he's becoming a star right before our eyes.
I mean, his jumps are outstanding. He made that look pretty easy.
Angels Baseball on AB TV is presented by Pechanga Resort Casino. This is Kirby Yates. After Mitch Ferris ends up with just a couple of innings, Angels deciding here to give some others some work and keep Ferris rested as well, not burning through him here today.
Impressive outing by Mitch Ferris today.
Struck out the side in the 6th. Kirby Yates got his World Series ring from last season yesterday. Part of the Dodger roster last year, although it was not the season he expected to have after a brilliant year 2 years ago with the Texas Rangers.
I'll tell you what, that is absolutely the best feeling in the world as a baseball player, as an athlete in general, when you get that championship ring. There's nothing better than knowing you have that and you always cherish it.
The fly ball to center from Andy Pages, who has really developed into a great player. 1 out. Well, the Hyundai 7th inning stretch coming up. Well, you got your World Series ring after the 1985 championship year for the Royals. Last year, you got to celebrate that 40th anniversary together, and I'm sure Kirby Yates and the Dodgers of 2024 and 2025 will get together in 2064 and 2065.
Yeah, exactly.
And celebrate 40 years of that at some point. You can certainly speak on what those anniversaries are like.
And the story is as if you were still in the locker room 2 seconds ago. They're still laughing. It is something you always remember. It's that battle to do that. It's such a grind of baseball season. 30+ games in spring training, 162 during the season, and a bunch in the postseason.
Well, the joke will really be on the Royals in 2065 when they celebrate 80 years and you're still looking like this. You're still in pure vampire form.
I'd plan on it. They'll be calling me Bela Lugosi at that point.
The 50 years of the 2015 team will be looking at you then, being like, "What? This guy's still? How's this possible?"
Oh wow. So aren't the Mets doing their 40th anniversary this year of '86 team?
In August.
That was an incredible win for them. How that improbable World Series for the Mets.
Funny thing about it is how they dominated the whole season. Mets won 108 games that year. They won the division by over 20 games. And then in the National League Championship Series, they had to battle with the Astros, including that long extra inning game to clinch the pennant. And in the World Series, I mean, they were down to their final strike a couple of times. 2 out, nobody on in that bottom of the 10th inning when they had the big comeback after the Buckner play as Tucker goes down on strikes. But they had 2 outs and the bases empty, down by 2.
Yep.
And still found a way to win that game 6 to send it to game 7, which they won as well.
When you look at that, you know, you had 85, 86, and even 87 World Series team. The Twins had to go 7 games too. They had to win they won every game at home that year in the Metrodome. Couldn't win on the road, but they won at home.
Yeah, 3 straight World Series that went 7 games. And then we had the next 3 World Series, which were all sweeps. 88, 89, and 90. You know, the classic in 91 between the Twins and the Braves.
Yeah, what a pitching matchup that was. Game 7.
Smoltz and Jack Morris, one for the ages. Minnesota winning in 10 innings, 1-0. Couple of extra inning wins in game 6 and 7. Well, the Dodgers coming off a classic World Series too.
That was an incredible World Series last year.
Game 7 against the Blue Jays, the worldwide viewers that it had. With Japan with such a rooting interest as well, in Canada. Kirby Yates, a good inning. We'll have our Hyundai 7th inning stretch in just a short moment. Inning stretch as we take you around the league. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hadn't homered in a while. Only his 3rd of the year as the Blue Jays defeated the Tigers today 4-1. You know, we've talked about teams underachieving this year. What about Detroit? They're 7 games under 500 now. Tarek Skubal's been out. I got some issues there in Detroit. Angels will be there soon. Subway Series had a good finale. Tyrone Taylor with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs off David Bednar. The Mets came back in a big way as they beat the Yankees in 10 innings today, 7-6. Also a wild crosstown battle between the Cubs and White Sox in Chicago today, which the White Sox won 9-8 in 10 innings. With Mark Ubiza, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and so far After last year's Freeway Series was one-sided to the Angels, it's been the Dodgers this year.
I mean, they've been impatient in their bats. They've had a lot of traffic coming through with some clutch hits. Their pitching has been solid too, but this has got to have some good at-bats here the rest of this game. You never know what happens, especially in a day game here. The baseball can carry, but you need some base runners and some good swings with guys on base.
Well, it's 7-1 here. Hiroki Sasaki in 6 innings has done a nice job for the Dodgers. That was our Hyundai 7th-inning stretch. Not typical of Sasaki to go this deep in a game, but he's done it today. First time he has pitched into the 7th inning as a starter. There's a bouncer to short. Rojas with a backhand. So this is the longest outing in Sasaki's career. He has 7 strikeouts in a game for the first time in his career. Sasaki has actually punched out 8 in this one, so a career high, just getting to 7, let alone 8. And Sasaki with the first out recorded here in the 7th inning. So this has been a bright spot certainly for the Dodgers today, and they'd like to get Sasaki right.
He's had some really good balance over the pitching rubber today. He hasn't been hurrying his pitches. That's why he's out of the strike zone at times. Well, he's been right on top of the baseball.
Well, one thing that's really prevented him from having long starts is that second and third times through the order he gets crushed. It just hasn't happened today. Opponents with a 984 OPS lifetime against Sasaki the second time through the order. So, you know, that second time when you get hammered like that, you hardly ever even get opportunities to go the third time around.
That's why you don't get many opportunities to pick up W's either.
There's a chopper hit to Freeman, who has a nifty backhand pick, and Sasaki covers for the out.
Getting his fair share of ground balls today too. Not a big ground ball guy normally.
He's done a ton of strikes as well. He's in line for what would be only his 3rd major league win.
Look how efficient every inning here today. A few pitches in the first inning, but other than that, though, very efficient.
This year especially, opponents have hit 370 the second time through the order.
7 ground ball outs today.
Liner to left, and this is a quick inning. Sasaki's having his best day in the big leagues. 7 innings against the Angels. Angels baseball on AB TV, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino and by Nissan's. Nissan's designed for people who refuse to settle for less. Nissan.com or your local Nissan dealer. Angels and Dodgers, the Freeway Series rivalry. Certainly great moments over the years. The Angels had all of those find a way into their lap last season. 6-0 the Angels against the Dodgers last year. A historic type of effort for a team that ended up not doing so well against a team that won the World Series and had won the World Series the year before too. The Dodgers trying to three-peat as Ryan Johnson takes the mound. The Angels would like to see him just be healthy and get on track here.
What I want to see is this some more velo on his fastball too. He's got a good splitter. You saw that. He'll throw a cutter and sweeper. This guy that could rush it up to mid to upper 90s normally with his fastball.
Squibber foul off the bat of Muncy. Johnson has a great arm, a big time prospect. And a guy who still does not have a lot of pro experience.
Still unreal. Made his debut last year. Never pitched professional baseball. Picked up a W and a save in the first 3 games he appeared in.
Well, his first.
That's impossible.
His first, not even major league games, just his first games at the as a professional athlete. It was insane. It may never happen again. Once he keeps getting tied up here. This one in foul ground as Ohapi falls short of it.
Between the splitter and cutters. Get out of that crouch catching position as quick as possible. It wasn't hit high enough, but the effort was still there for Ohapi.
Johnson still just 23 years old, drafted only 2 years ago. He still has a very little pro experience, even at after last season, when she went back to the minor leagues. Only made 12 starts for Tri-City. Some rehab outings this year. That's it. Swing and a miss. Turns Muncy around there. That's a great pitch.
Good splitter too. Good arm action on it. He's a difficult pitcher to read as a hitter. He has that quick delivery. I remember seeing the first time in spring training a couple years ago. I'm sitting next to me and Mark Langston were sitting in the dugout. We're like, wow, how can you even time him as a hitter? He's right on you.
He's rushing, fouling one off. Well, hitting maybe has never been harder than it is now. So many different pitchers that you face. That's one thing about Trout. You know, we've shown you numbers over the years, and you know, when the White Sox were here, Trout's numbers rivaled Jimmy Fox and Lou Gehrig and Ted Williams and Babe Ruth against them. You know, in the original American League, there's 6 teams, and you didn't really have bullpens. It was just starting pitching.
You had guys would throw 180, 200 pitches to finish off a game. So you're seeing them 4 or 5 times every single time.
So Ted Williams, when he hit 400 that year, it was a ground ball to second base. Well, he just didn't face a large number of pitchers in that season. I mean, it was just not something you didn't see, all these different arm angles and different types of pitches and different sequences, you know, regardless of stuff, whether pitchers' stuff is better now or was even 40 years ago. The point is, you're seeing so many different pitchers, you can't get to that 3rd, 4th, 5th time against a guy anymore. It just changes the entire situation.
And your goal, I remember talking to Bobby Grich, is reading the baseball out of the hand from the pitcher's eye, the batter's eye, I should say. And now all of a sudden you have different angles every few innings. It's tough to be able to do that. You might even see that pitcher once.
And the Angels faced 7 pitchers Friday alone. This is a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Johnson. Join your Angels for every Saturday night home game and stay to enjoy a post-game Saturday night fireworks show driven by your SoCal Hyundai dealers. Angels.com/promotions for a list of Saturday night fireworks. Different arm angles. And this was just Friday alone. What the Angels saw in terms of the different pitchers. Klein as an opener. This was after he had Blake Snell scratched from the start. And Enriquez, Trine, and Mills. I mean, these guys are all over the place in terms of arm angles. Kyle Hurt as well, as Alex Vesia now is on the mound. Vesia with the highest arm angle. But it just goes to our point that when you say hitting is harder now than ever, it's not a knock on pitchers of the past. It is just how different the game has become in terms of how many pitchers you see and how different all of those pitchers can be over the course that you can't get settled as a hitter.
Never. I mean, you talk about tracking the baseball at a batter's eye, but you're every time you go up here, you feel comfortable with that, you know, reading that baseball for the batter's eye. But next thing you know, you have a different pitcher with a different arm angle, and you got to do it all over again. Yes, it's extremely difficult to hit today.
Jose Siri is the pinch hitter for Josh Lowe against Vesia here.
But also, be quite honest with you, Wayne, you know, I don't, the numbers, whatever they speak, but if I got through that lineup twice, I didn't worry about it the 3rd or 4th time. I felt I already had him. If I was getting him out, I was getting him out the next couple of times through the lineup too. And I even talked to Garrett Cole about that. He said the same thing. If he, that whole conversation about 3rd time, he goes, no. If I got you out the first 2 times, you had no chance the rest of the day.
That's right in there, 2-2. I mean, 1941, Ted Williams at 400. The White Sox that year had 11 pitchers the whole season, and a couple of those guys only pitched in a few games. So they largely had 9 pitchers that they were using for the majority of the season, the large majority of the season. And the Angels faced 8 the other day. The Yankees, same thing. They had 11 pitchers that they used that year. And Siri fouling one off. It's just a completely different atmosphere when you're facing new pitchers all the time. And the Angels have already used 10 starting pitchers this season, with Rodriguez getting his first start today. 3-2 the count on Siri. Last year the Angels were pretty blessed with starting pitching health. They had their 5 starters go through the entire first half of the season before they had to dip into some depth. That has not been the case this year. Siri punches out as Vesia gets the first out here in the 8th, and we'll take a ride with Kia. The Dodgers standpoint today, they will talk about Roki Sasaki having his best start as a big leaguer, striking out 8 in 7 innings with only 1 run allowed. Those are all career highs in terms of innings pitched and strikeouts for Sasaki today. And the Angels staring in the face another day where they don't even score 3 runs.
Would just love to see that power just get back for O'Hoppe. There's 2 extra base hits so far this season, 1 home run, 1 double. He's been battling through a lot of things lately too. Especially with that wrist.
And also he gets hit by more foul balls and things behind the plate than any catcher you see. I mean, he gets absolutely crushed back there. The 1 homer at Yankee Stadium. He's got a double as well. That's been it in his 86 at bats.
19 home runs last year.
I remember he had 14, or by this time last year, he had 14 home runs. Flies this one to right field. Tucker is fighting the sun a bit. And makes the catch, 2 outs. Pitching matchups for the series against the A's. We will see Urania tomorrow against JT Ginn. Reed Detmers Tuesday night. Jacob Lopez for the A's. Jack Rolowitz Wednesday night against the veteran Aaron Savali, who's pitched well. And Soriano will be up against Luis Severino on Thursday night. All night games in that A's series. I believe all night games the whole week, right?
Yes.
Sunday's a night game next week.
Yes, it is.
Who are you working with on that, Benetti? And
I'm not sure on the
you don't know the Ranger
side.
one.
No, not yet. I know Benetti.
Maybe it'll be Ranger Rick.
Yeah.
2 outs. Oswald Peraza batting for Frazier. Alex Vesia back in the fold for the Dodgers. Done a really good job for them over the years. Dodgers wearing these blue jerseys the whole weekend. Inning over, 1-2-3. Halo fans, join your Angels, the Big A. Upcoming games, exciting matchups, giveaways, and more. Angels.com/tickets. We'll have Walbert Urania on the mound here tomorrow night. He's been really, really sharp his last few outings.
I mean, he's been throwing the ball really well. He's a tremendous changeup thrower. I think as he goes along, there's a pretty good split. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as far as right-handed batters have a little more success against lefty. His changeup's so good against lefty. That sweeper has to come into play for him against the right-handed batters, and I think it will. He's still so young, but tremendous stuff.
7-1 here in the 9th. Let's go down to Erica.
Yeah, as we talked about in Toronto on the last road trip, Soriano and Jose Urania obviously spending a lot of time together, friends more than just teammates, hopefully spending some time outside of the baseball field. But it's cool hearing Jose Soriano, Gooby, this morning as he told you that Urania was chiming in on how to help Soriano on the mound last night. So it's going 2 ways. It's a 2-way street right. Look at that. Right on cue.
Yes. You can't even do that even better
That's
than that.
Television, baby.
Did you tell him to do that?
I'm not that good, Wayne. But again, just the friendship goes beyond advice on the baseball field, but Soriano-wise beyond his years, and obviously it's paying dividends with Urania.
Yeah, exactly, Eric. I love when he was talking about us, how Urania picked up how his wrist was flat, and that's why that fastball didn't have that sink to it. And he sees that, and that helps each other out. And these two are blessed with incredible arms. And I think Urania is going to get to that level of Soriano at some point, especially when he gets a better feel for his breaking ball. Just like I think Soriano is going to be better with a better feel getting on top of the baseball for his knuckle curve next time out.
Ball 4 to Kim as that brings up Ohtani with a leadoff walk. The Angels have paid for the walks. 3 have scored today. 8 yesterday. Here's Shohei, who has driven in 2 runs today. 7-1 the Dodgers have the lead. Well, Urania has certainly been fun to see emerge this year. I mean, it's similar. We talked about it with Soriano too. Neither man was really considered a top prospect. Maybe if you had made the prospect rankings, you've been saying this about Urania since the first time you saw him in spring training.
Yeah, I saw him. I told everybody immediately, I said, oh, this is the kid. You go, you like his arm? I said, no, I love his arm. I don't like his arm. I love his arm. But yeah, he was raw. There was still some walk in his game, but I think the more confidence he builds and throws more pitches and realizes how good he is, that's when he takes off.
Well, the prospect rankers at large did not offer Urania any sort of status in that regard, nor did they for Soriano on his way to the major leagues. But the stuff between the two of them is extreme, and you have to think that Urania is the next one in line after Soriano has emerged as a real threat on the mound. Urania is headed in that direction as well. Ohtani gets flipped around on that cutter. 2-2.
I remember this guy at the plate right here, by the way, in 18 when he first came over to the Angels from Japan. You know, he struggled on the mound, he struggled at the plate, and a lot of big time writers and broadcasts come around. He goes, I don't know if this guy's going to ever really make it a whole lot. And I'm like, just watch his bullpens, watch his batting practice. It'll take a little bit of time, but he is going to be a great player. I had no idea he was going to be this good.
Slapped the other way. It's Shohei's 3rd hit today. And that gives the Dodgers runners on 1st and 2nd. We'll have Angels Live post-game coming up.
And going the other way on that one, it's going back to Shohei. They were like, there's, inconsistency throwing strikes. Remember in 18, same thing swinging the bat. But if you watch his batting practice bullpen session, you knew he was going to be special. That's why sometimes you don't worry about what people are saying about you as you're developing. You do it on the mound here or at the plate.
Well, certainly Urania has done that so far. Freddie Freeman is hitless today, walked and scored. Same thing yesterday. So the Dodgers MVP winners have not quite carried them offensively the same way they had the last couple of years. It's not yet. There's a pop up and foul ground that Okada is able to track down. 1 out.
You see a little frustration for Freddie Freeman.
It certainly is unusual to see him have any struggles at the plate.
Still 11 doubles this season, as always. He is a doubles machine. He's 40, 50 doubles every year, sometimes getting close to 60.
Giants lead the A's today 6-1. That game's in the 8th inning, so the A's will come to Angel Stadium in first place and possibly at 500.
Unbelievable.
Mariners play the Padres tonight. They're on NBC for Sunday Night Baseball. Mariners are 3 under. Texas, they beat Houston today 8-0. The Rangers are 2 under. The Astros are 10 under. Angels will be 15 under.
So why, when you even go back to the Padres, I mean, they haven't really been on all cylinders as far as on the offensive side yet. They're playing very well.
And they're only a half game apart from the Dodgers. San Diego with Lucas Giolito making his Padre debut tonight, facing George Kirby in that Sunday night game.
It started off slow for Giolito last year with the Red Sox, but he pitched really good at the end of the season for him. It took a while to get a job.
Yeah, Padres signed him a few weeks ago and put him through a minor league ramp up. Grounder to third. Moncada gobbles that up, throws to second for one. And the return throw is too late. Harrison Bader just hit a grand slam, so it's 10-1 Giants now over the A's. See this foul ball catch by a fan.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wearing quite a sweater there, too.
Yes. This casually makes the play here. Here's a baseball.
Casual in the cashmere.
Yes. By the way, all-time Zeppelin song.
Casual in the cashmere?
No, this cashmere.
No.
Just had to throw that one in, Wayne, just to keep you going.
I am still going, thanks to you. Dodgers have 7 runs on 9 hits today. They've outscored the Angels 28-3 now in this series.
Our fans on the phone right now. He's probably hearing some people texting him saying, hey, nice job over there catching that ball and giving it to a fan. There he is.
Beautiful. Rocketed to the corner. Tucker once again has had a big day against the Angels. His 3rd hit. Dino Ebel's just waving everybody around. It is 9-1 on a 2-run double. Normally you'll see teams be a little more station to station with a big lead, but Dino Ebel getting a workout over there.
Yes.
He's just waving everybody around. Paz scores from first with 2 outs.
Well, what, Paez, amongst everything else he's doing real well, he is a great base runner, and he is quick. Wow.
He has put himself together, no question. There's a fly ball to right center. Trout is over and won't get that. Tucker will come home. 10-1. 31-3 in the series. And a position player to the mound once again. Ryan Johnson can't finish the 9th inning here. Actually, it's sprayed Mike Maddox, so this will not be the end for Johnson. He'll stay out there for at least one more hitter. As Johnson worked a 1-2-3 8th inning, got the first 2 outs here in the 9th. The Dodgers with 3 more 2-out runs. They have scored almost all of their runs today with 2 outs. Just 1 out of the 10 with less than 2 outs.
A challenge here.
Foul ball, 0-2 on Muncy.
Well, last time he punched out Muncy. It's a cutter. Got him on a splitter.
It's the First batter that Johnson faced was a Fermin, Mitch Ferris, Kirby Yates, and Johnson in the 8th inning combined for no runs allowed. Dodgers haven't scored since the 4th inning until they put up these 3 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. One and 2 the count on Muncy. There's a strikeout. Muncy's 3rd today, and that ends the inning. Oki Sasaki had his best major league start today. 8 strikeouts, 7 innings, both career highs. He'll get the win with 3 more outs.
Yeah, he had everything working between his forkball and splitter. But I thought his fastball, which had been hit so well this season by the batters at the plate, he was pretty efficient with that too. Toyota player of the game, outstanding performance by him.
Bottom of the 9th, with a 9-run lead, the Dodgers have Chase McDermott to end this game. Garcia worked a perfect 8th inning with 2 strikeouts. Angels have punched out 10 times now overall. Chase McDermott. Kind of sounds made up. Creative player name in a video game. But he's a real person, and he was part of the trade when Jose Siri was dealt from the Astros to the Rays a few years ago, going from Baltimore to Baltimore from Houston in that trade. His brother played in the NBA for a minute, Sean McDermott. Probably not too many MLB, NBA brother combos all time. Of course, Klay Thompson and Trace Thompson stand out.
Danny Ainge did it both.
You do have Daryl Miller, who was with the Angels.
Yes.
And is a sibling of 2 great basketball players.
Very much so.
Reggie Miller and Cheryl Miller. That's about all I can think of. And Monty and Shaquille Harrison. And Monty Harrison did not have much of a baseball career.
Going back to our Hyundai key to the game today. This is what I'm talking about. Something to believe in. That relationship, those 2 young, tremendous arms for the Halos. Urania on the mound tomorrow against the Athletics. Soriano off to a great start. These 2 really help each other a lot. Something to believe in as far as those young arms progressing for the Halos going forward. Tough one today. We got Urania on the mound tomorrow.
Well, it's been not just a tough one, a tough 3 against the Dodgers, and they're going back now to a 5-21 stretch.
Still just hard to believe that.
They were 11-10.
When you look back to that energy in Yankee Stadium, where you could have actually won all 4 of those games. Could have had a 6-1 road trip.
Popped up. This is on the way to being the 6th straight game for the Angels with 2 or fewer runs. Longest streak since 2007. 8 out of 9 and 17 out of the 26. Angels have only scored a total of 72 runs, or 73 rather, in the Last 26 games, so that's 2.8 runs per game. And a stretch that is now a month long. The Angels beat the Padres 8-0 to go to 11-10. And that was on April 17th. So now today, May 17th. They have won just 5 games since then.
An athletic team, they could swing the bat, so it's going to be a battle for Urania tomorrow. It's really important to have that changeup working well. I think his sweeper is going to be a really important pitch for him too tomorrow night.
JT Ginn will be the starter for the A's. And Shawnoel lifts one to the right field corner, deep down the line, and foul. Angels and Dodgers will play each other again at Dodger Stadium in just a few weeks. Second half of the Freeway Series.
Huge crowds all 3 games here. Sure it'll be the same at Dodger Stadium.
Angels will be in the Pacific time zone for the entire month of June, so they have that going for them. Full count. And a liner keeps this one going with a base hit for Shawnoel, his second today.
Good to see that from Shawnoel. That's his swing right there. That line shot the other way. 2-hit day.
Angels hit 2 home runs in their series in Cleveland after hitting 3 last Sunday in Toronto. They've only hit 2 home runs since then. None in this series, and again at home they just cannot drive the ball. This one might end it. Foul ground for Freddie Freeman. It's a Dodger sweep at the Big A. Some revenge for last year when the Angels won all 6 between the 2 stadiums. The Dodgers take all 3 here at Angel Stadium. 10-1 the final today.
Boy, a lot of positives for the Dodgers. Baez had a great series. Shohei Ohtani started swinging the bat last couple days, and they just did everything well, especially with 2 outs in the entire series.
The Angels were outscored 31-3. Dodgers at 9 2-out runs today, and they win by 9 here at the Big A. Dodgers 10-1 the final today. We'll be back tomorrow. The A's will be here as the Angels try to get back in the win column. We'll have it for you at 6:30. Pregame show underway at 6 o'clock. Angels live postgame presented by Kia is next with Ken French and Tim Salmon. For Gerby and Erica, I'm Wayne Randazzo saying good night.
Angels Live is on the air and presented by ABTV and Kia as we welcome you to the Big A. Tough weekend for the Halos. They dropped the 3rd and final game of the Freeway Series to the Dodgers by a final of 10-1 and get swept out of the Big A. As we welcome you inside the ballpark, Ken French alongside Tim Salmon. Tim, the numbers don't lie. Outscored 31-3 over the 3 games against the Dodgers. 2 runs or less now in 8 of their last 9. Those numbers don't add up to wins.
Well, they don't, and it's all facets of the game right now. 13 of 18 walks in the series scored. So, when you're giving that many free passes to a team like this, they're going to make you pay for it. And you just can't afford to play that kind of baseball against, probably arguably maybe the best team in baseball.
Yeah, and Roki Sasaka entering tonight's game, this afternoon's game, I should say, with a 5.88 ERA. Approaching 6, but Tim, one of his best starts of his young career, going 7 innings of 1-run baseball today.
Yeah, he really pitched well today. I mean, I think that